Hey folks, welcome to my channel. This is a digest of the most intriguing aspects of flat earth theory. This video is an intro to what's coming, so sit back and enjoy the show. For those who've seen the world differently, most facts are familiar, but there's new stuff too. For newcomers to flat earth theory, your first thought might be, is this a joke? Seriously? It's not a joke. Let's start here. We are taught two facts from childhood. First fact, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Second fact, Earth is a sphere. We learned this early on, so you can imagine how crucial it is. Officially, for 4,000 years, people thought Earth was a flat disk covered by a dome called the firmament. All 5 major world religions talked about it. The Church always backed this idea. In 1548, Nicolaus Copernicus proposed a revolutionary model of the universe. He claimed Earth spins at 1,100 kilometers per h and orbits the Sun at 108,000 kilometers per h. And naturally, Earth is spherical in shape. The math checked out, but there was a snag. It was the 15th century, and tech that could prove his spherical Earth theory didn't exist yet. No telescope. So how did Copernicus even conceive that Earth was a sphere rotating at such speeds? But that's not all. Did Copernicus actually exist, or is he just a made-up character? Interestingly, official history shows that Copernicus held a high social status in his lifetime. He was a clergyman and a well-known scientist. Considering all this, it's very strange that Copernicus's grave location remained unknown for 500 years. However, during excavations in Frombork Cathedral in 2005, a skull and leg bones were discovered. A comparative DNA analysis of these remains and 2 of Copernicus's hairs miraculously found in one of his books confirmed that the discovered remain belonged to Copernicus. This raises the question of why such a respected figure in the Catholic Church, with such scientific achievements, was buried in an unmarked grave only to be suddenly found in 2005, with his DNA matched using a hair preserved in a book for 500 years. But let's move on. The first hot air balloon capable of lifting a person was only created in 1760, so he couldn't prove his theory, yet the new worldview spread fast. Religion stayed quiet, life went on. The globe became essential in education, though unproven. For 500 years, challenges vanished. The sphere was accepted, including gravity theory. For 12 generations, people believed Earth was round because globes were in classrooms. Still, no proof existed. Centuries passed without anyone proving Earth's shape. Planes were invented in 1903, but until 1957, they couldn't fly high enough to show Earth's true panorama. Then strange things started happening. Very strange, I'd say. The US and USSR learned to launch rockets into space. They went up high to take photos, but what they saw scared them. How do we know they were frightened? Well, they started firing nuclear missiles into the sky for 4 years straight. Remember a few things. First, in 1950, nukes were incredibly expensive. Each missile cost a fortune. Second, the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs were 20 kilotons, equivalent to tons of TNT. They were firing missiles up to 3 megatons. That's 3 million tons of TNT, and these weren't easy to come by. Third, strange occurrences began happening in other parts of the world. In 1959, just a year after nuclear tests in the sky, 12 nations, including the US, declared Antarctica a no man's land. The treaty between states was signed and is still respected today. Over 50 countries have now joined it. Do you know any other treaty followed for over 50 years by all developed nations? Also, do you know of any other large territory on Earth without an owner? You'd think at least one big company would explore it, but they haven't shown interest. A brief history. In 1958, the military found a strong wall of our world and restricted access to keep people out. They cleverly did this by signing the Antarctic Treaty in 1959 and the Test Ban Treaty. Nuclear weapons were banned in the skies in 1963, but the government always acts with ulterior motives. Most of the work was already done, leaving only treaty details. The dome's celestial boundary was far higher than the ceiling for commercial planes, so their only concern was space exploration. As a result, space was swiftly handed over to the military and classified. The southern border of the land was naturally enclosed. Vast oceans, low regional temperatures, and numerous icebergs hindered border access. The frozen wastelands couldn't sustain crops, so why would people go there? For years, ice and frigid waters effectively deterred people. Our civilization's essential technologies developed slowly, so captains avoided treacherous icy waters. Even in the mountains, the oxygen drop is noticeable, restricting. A study of our world's height, a clever design. Its creators knew power's secrets corrupt. They'd rather guard it than lose it. You might think kings and priests long knew we're under a dome, maybe from ancient texts or visitors, but that's just gossip. Even the mightiest rulers couldn't reach the border, from Skye to Antarctica. If they couldn't, common folk surely couldn't. Priests saying there's a dome is one thing, seeing it up close is another. Tough choices, keep it secret or tell everyone. They chose secrecy, sparing no expense. The space industry grew due to the need for space images and lunar programs. NASA was founded in 1958 to explore space while private competitors were shut down. NASA hired top talent, but research was restricted. Only astronauts knew secrets, signing NDAs for rewards. Private space ventures were eliminated or bought out. Private spacecraft are banned, officially due to technical limitations. If this happens regularly, it will raise many questions about what the rockets are hitting. For those already reaching for the keyboard to comment about Elon Musk, I'll say up front that all his projects are unprofitable and funded by the US government and possibly other allied nations. In short, Elon Musk is a contract partner of NASA. Most likely, once SpaceX reaches maturity, Musk will sell it for a hefty sum to government-controlled entities. There are three questions about our world that can't be ignored, but NASA isn't prepared to answer them and avoids them at all costs. These are questions you must ask yourself and others. First question, I'm translating Max Melvin's words, who did an excellent job. Quote, after 50 years of research, watching thousands of hours of NASA and other countries' space footage, I've never seen an astronaut rotate their camera 180 degrees or 360 degrees. There's never been a rotation in any space footage. Statistically speaking, it's clean. Someone should have done it by chance, but there's no video and never will be. They can't break the one rule. It's like in TV shows where they never show the fourth wall. Why? Because there isn't one. It's all cameras, mics, and crew. Second question, when you search online for Earth photos from space, 95% of what you see is Photoshop and often not even good quality. In 2000, when I conducted my research, there was only one image from NASA that showed the lower part of Africa and part of Antarctica. Now this picture has been lost among hundreds of fakes. They have high-resolution cameras everywhere, and no one can take a high-resolution picture of the Earth. NASA simply cannot achieve an orbit to take a convincing picture for everyone. Third question, routes for commercial airlines? Southern Hemisphere flight paths are wrong. You can verify this yourself in just 1 minute. Please do it. Pick any city in Australia and any in South America. The flight should go through the South Pacific, right? Now go to your favorite travel site, find a non-stop flight between those cities. Try to find a direct flight across the ocean. This is where the headache begins. There are certain things that can be hidden from the population. For instance, consider the distance between 2 points on a map. On a round planet, it's easy to fly straight across the ocean. But on a flat map, these cities would be far apart. You can't just cut corners, so they devise complex routes with layovers. They're lucky the US is in the northern hemisphere, as air travel growth would have exposed suspicious routes long ago. Yes, I know this sounds like nonsense and hallucinations. Some people will insist to your face that world leaders are lizards and reptilians, but these same folks will laugh at you when you mention a flat earth. I've been into conspiracy theories and still am. I've explored all the interesting topics for research, but I was reluctant to dive into the flat earth subject. Now, whenever I look into this topic, I keep finding new things. When I saw how it works and what are these folks thinking, I've really gotten into flat earth theory. Think for yourself and ask, is it true or not? Just consider it might be possible. Maybe you'll see more than I do. For instance, who built the dome and why? It gets interesting when you find your own answers. This 500-year globe lie has gone on too long, hiding the obvious. It's time to return to how it all began. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.